little rest and then I'm going to do it. Okay, Dad, if you guarantee me that you will wake up and you will not be dead by that time, then go ahead and have rest. Umar bin Abdul Aziz gets up, he kisses the forehead of his son and says, Allah bless you, O my son, and I'm thankful to Allah who blessed me with helpers like you and your mother. His wife says, sometime after Salatul Isha, he used to perform a couple of rak'ah salah, and then he would be sitting and crying for the rest of the night. One day he cried so much and he was crying so loud that I thought he's going to die if he would continue being like this. So I asked him, Amir al-Mu'mineen, something happened today? He says, no. The thing that have happened is I have been assigned this responsibility, this great responsibility. This makes me think of the poor people, of hungry people in the country. This makes me think of those who don't find a food to eat, those who don't have proper clothing, those who don't have proper medication, sick people, handicapped people, blind people, orphans, widows. Makes me think of all of those people. And if the right of any of these people is being neglected, Allah will question me about them on the Day of Judgment, and He will not accept any excuse from me. This makes me cry when I'm thinking of all of those people. Today we like to take positions. Then after positions we will only have parties. No, this is what position means. Umar bin Abdul Aziz is teaching us this is what position means. You take that responsibility. His wife says, one day after Salatul Isha, Umar bin Abdul Aziz came home. He was very tired. I said to him, you must have some rest today. He said, okay, I will have some rest. Let me just do 2 rak'ah salah. After he did 2 rak'ah salah, he just sat in that position and kept on crying and crying until the mu'adhin called the adhan of Salat al-Fajr. After Salat al-Fajr, I told him, then today you must have some rest during the daytime. He said, I will try. Never had a chance to come back home until after Salat al-Isha. Next day, she says it was the same lifestyle every night. Initially, she was very hurt by that. And finally she says, I got used to it. And then what I used to do is, when he's performing salah and crying, I would perform salah and make dua and cry also. Worrying about the ummah and the situation of the ummah. One day he came home. She says he felt like eating an apple. Had no fruits in our home for a long time. So he said to me, is there any apple at home? I said, no. I said to him, but I can smell like apple from you. He says, yes, today I distributed some apple because someone sent a lot of apples to be distributed to the believers, to the Muslims. So I distributed those, so I felt like having one also. But of course, I cannot eat until all other Muslims have it. Otherwise, Allah will question me, how did you give your self-preference over others? So do we have any at home? No. Do you have $1 that we can buy an apple with? She says, no, I don't have nothing at home. He says, okay, then inshallah we'll eat it in Jannah. This is his lifestyle. This is his way of thinking. Muhammad bin Ka'b al-Qurazi, who was his helper in Medina Munawwara when he was a governor in Medina Munawwara, he says, after he became the Khalifa, I went to visit him. But when I saw him, initially I could not even recognize him. His color was changed, he had lost weight. So I kept on looking at his face, what change is there? So when I continued looking at him, he said to me, Ka'b, why are you looking at me like this? I said to him, just your look surprises me when I think of how you looked like before and your situation now. Before the situation, Muhammad bin Ka'b explains, that situation was when he used to tie the belt on his stomach. The stomach was so big that belt used to be hidden in his stomach. And now I could count the ribs on his body without touching his clothes. So I said to him, this surprises me. So he said to me, Muhammad, you will be even more surprised if you see me 3 days after I'm buried in my grave, when my eyes will be falling on my cheek and insects will be running throughout my body. You will be even more surprised. Muhammad, You are looking at me at this time. I'm thinking of myself when I will be in that situation. Facts that this great person is reminding each and every person. With this, it looks like Umar bin Abdul Aziz, all he knew was ibadah and he didn't know anything else. But look at the achievement. If you remember, remind yourself of the ayah that we recited at the beginning. Promises from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on iman and amal al-salih. His khilafah was such that all historians agree that during his khilafah, when people used to bring sadaqat, he would reject them because we don't have people to accept sadaqat. And they could not find people even to accept zakah. It was difficult to find people that will take zakah. And he had assigned one person in the whole country for every blind, one helper that is assigned and paid on behalf of the Khilafah. Between every two people, two handicapped people, there will be one person to take care of their needs. Opened hospitals throughout the country that were treating people totally for free. Had motels where on the highways and in such a way that boarding and lodging, everything is free, which means travelers can stay over there and will have food over there, everything for free. Then, still, Khilafah is so prosperous that now he announces that if anyone has any debts on him, contact us because we have zakah, and one of the places where we can use zakat for is paying the debts of the people. So he says, now we will pay the debts of each and every person in this Khilafah from Baytul Mal. Then, after even paying the debts, still there is more money. So now he makes the next announcement. Announcement that we may never have heard about. Any person likes to get married, the Khilafah will pay for all the expenses, and not only just the expenses of the marriage, but will also pay the mahr to the wife on behalf of the husband. This was the type of Khilafah that Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahimahullah established. And how long did it take him? He lived for only 2 years and 5 months. His Khilafah was totally only 2 years and 5 months. Within that time he achieved all of this. Allah promises those who believe in Him and do the good deeds that He will establish this deen for them and He will give them the peace of mind. The condition is يَعْبُدُونَنِي لَا يُشْرِكُونَ بِي شَيْئًا. They should worship me and not associate any partners with me. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. Establish salah, pay the zakah and obey the messenger. You will have the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of us for His deen and give us tawfiq to have our faith and iman in these ayahs and the other ayahs of the Quran al-Kareem. And may Allah keep all of us in sirat al-mustaqim. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله.